Theos is Greek for God, so studying God is called theology. What does the Bible reveal about God? Is God a spirit? God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Does Jesus reveal that God is gentle? For I am gentle and humble in heart. Is God loving? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. How long does God's love last? For the Lord is good. His unfailing love continues forever, and his faithfulness continues to each generation. Is God merciful? For the Lord your God is a merciful God. Is God compassionate? For he is gracious and compassionate. Is God faithful? And God is faithful. He'll not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, he'll show you a way out so that you can endure. Is God forgiving? And whenever you stand praying, forgive, if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also, who's in heaven, may forgive you your trespasses. Did Jesus ask God to forgive people before they had repented? Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." Is God good? For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. Is God just? God is just. He'll pay back trouble to those who trouble you. Does God tolerate injustice? Fear the Lord and judge with integrity, for the Lord our God does not tolerate perverted justice, partiality, or the taking of bribes. Are all God's ways just? For all his ways are justice, a God of truth and without injustice. Righteous and upright is he. Is God the source of life? Then the Lord formed man of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Is God distinguished from lifeless idols? Is he the fountain of life? For what mortal has ever heard the voice of the living God speaking out of fire, as we have and survived? Can anyone outgrow the need for God's life-sustaining presence? He is your life and the length of your days. Does God inhabit eternity? For thus says the high and lofty one, who inhabits eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place. The Hebrew phrase, the heavens and the earth, means everything. Who created it? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Does God change? I'm the Lord, and I don't change. That's why you descendants of Jacob are not already destroyed. Is God's counsel immutable? Thus God, determining to show more abundantly to the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath. Does God's character change? Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Is God holy, exalted above everything else? Exalt the Lord our God, and worship at his holy mountain, for the Lord our God is holy. Is God righteous? For the Lord our God is righteous with respect to all his deeds which he has done, but we have not obeyed his voice. Is God love? Who does not love does not know God, for God is love. And we have known and believed the love that God has for us. God is love, and he who abides in love abides in God, and God in him. Is God truthful? Anyone who accepts his testimony can affirm that God is true. What does the parable of the lost son tell us about God? And he arose and came to his father. But when he was still a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Is God near? Can a man hide himself in hiding places? So I don't see him, declares the Lord. Don't I fill the heavens and the earth, declares the Lord. Does it mean that God's not far from every one of us? He's not far from any one of us, for in him we live and move and exist. Is God also far above us? For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Who is like the Lord? Who can be compared with the Lord our God, who is enthroned on high? He stoops to look down on heaven and on earth. Is evidence for his existence ubiquitous? For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because that which is known about God is evident within them, for God made it evident to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood through what's been made, so that they are without excuse. In the Bible, God's revealed as a personal being who loves his children and wants to save all of us from death and hell. Do you choose to believe this great God? You decide.